What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Still doing 3 videos a week right now, so we don't want you to miss out on any of those future videos. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out all the other videos on the channel if you haven't already. Well, I'm sitting here in the boat, rigging up a little tackle, finishing up a few rods, getting ready for one of the last tournaments of the year. And you know, this is actually the biggest payout that I'll be fishing for all year long, the biggest top prize that I have fished for all year long. So we are headed to Lake Guntersville for the Ultimate Angler Championship. You know, this event kind of flew under the radar a little bit, so I'm going to kind of walk you guys through it, kind of set the scene, let you guys know what's going on. As you're watching this, I guess it'll be this week on Lake Guntersville for the Ultimate Angler Championship. Okay, so like I said, this event kind of snuck under the radar a little bit. You know, they kind of dropped it. I would guess this was, man, this is almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years in the making. I believe the qualifying for this event started at the end of the 2024 season. And now here we are in October of 2025, and the event is finally set to happen. But this event, I guess it was announced sometime in the summer of 2024. Basically, this is the Unified Pros is the organization putting on this tournament, and it is called the Ultimate Angler Championship. So, man, there's a lot to dive into here. So right off the bat, let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the money. Tons of money into this tournament. You know, the state of Alabama actually is the one who's putting on this tournament, hosting this tournament, and they put up $1 million into the payout for this tournament. Now, you know, I assume that is to, you know, generate some revenue, some tourism, you know, people coming to check out Lake Guntersville, and this event is really going to showcase that. And you know, the best anglers in the world are coming to fish this tournament for this huge money. So, of course, it's going to draw some eyeballs, draw some attention, and it's really one of the most diverse and best from top to bottom quality anglers in a huge field for a huge payout that I think I've ever been a part of. You know, I guess they used to do some things similar to this back in the day with like the TTBC tournament, you know, kind of be the year-end tournament where they would take the top 15 in AOI from FLW Tour, Elite Series, and maybe a couple other options and kind of mix them all up. And that's exactly what we have here at the Ultimate Angler Championship. So basically, there was a bunch of different ways you could qualify for this event. First up, you had to become a member of the Unified Pros. So you had to pay a $500 membership fee in order to become a member. And then after you've paid that membership fee, you are eligible to qualify for this Ultimate Angler Championship. Now, qualifying, it was pretty simple. You had to be the highest finisher that was registered, that was a member of the Unified Pros, in basically every tournament throughout the 2025 season and really the second half of the 2024 season. So basically, you know, every Bass Pro Tour stop on this season, the highest finishing angler who was a member of the Unified Pros got to, you know, was then qualified for this Ultimate Angler Championship. So, I mean, you could have finished first place, you could have finished 50th place, but if you were the highest finisher that wasn't already qualified for the championship, but was a member of the Unified Pros, you were qualified for the championship. So that went on all different tournaments, you know, all of the Bass Pro Tour, all of the Elite Series, all of the Invitationals, the Toyota Series, even down to some BFLs, some online tournaments. I mean, there was so many ways to qualify for this tournament. The main thing was you had to become a member of the Unified Pros and then fish some tournaments and, you know, have a decent finish, become the highest finisher in that event, and you got qualified for the Ultimate Angler Championship. So, I mean, technically, whenever I signed up for this, whenever I decided I wanted to be a part of this and fish this event, I signed up and joined sometime in March, I believe. And it just so happened the next tournament that I fished after that, it was a Toyota series on Lake Chickamauga. I finished up, I think 20th place, but that was enough to be qualified for the Ultimate Angler Championship. So I technically qualified through a Toyota series event, but you know, I also would have made it throughout the Bass Pro Tour season in a couple other events. And then they even took the top 15 in AOI standings from both the Bass Pro Tour and the Elite Series after all the events were finished. If, you know, the guys who weren't already qualified and still members, they went down the list until they got 15 from the AOI standing. So there's a bunch of guys qualified, and really it's the who's who of professional bass fishing at the moment. And not just professional bass fishing. Like I said, there is a lot of, you know, local regional hammers, really good fishermen that are in this event. So it's a huge field. I think it's 200 plus boats, and it is some of the best anglers all around the country, all around the Guntersville area for sure. Lots of great fishermen there that are in this event. So it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout. Now, let's dive in on what to expect as far as the fishing. You know, I'm not sure what kind of media coverage this event is going to get, but of course, I'm going to be running my cameras. I hope to bring you guys some content of this tournament after the fact and kind of show you guys, you know, what went down, how it all went down, and how we caught some fish. So a couple key important things that are really going to factor into how this tournament goes. You know, first up is there is no forward-facing sonar allowed in this event. So right off the bat, you know, that's going to eliminate a lot of potential patterns. You know, you're not going to be able to chase fish out in the middle of the lake, scope fish, chase groups of fish, chase and bait fish. So it's going to really kind of, you know, change some of the tactics that we may use. And then the second major factor that's going into this tournament is there is actually a big bass tour scheduled during the same time as this tournament. So a lot of those tournaments will draw, you know, 300, 400, 500 boats, especially on a place like Lake Guntersville. So there is going to be a ton of boat traffic and tournament boat traffic. Now, granted, they are fishing a different format than us. You know, the Big Bass Tour is fishing for one big fish, and we are fishing for 5 of our biggest fish. So it's a little bit different format there, but still, there's going to be a lot of boats, a lot of boat pressure on the water. So if you add 200 of our guys and say 400 of the Big Bass Tour, I mean, that's 600 bass boats out there, not to mention the other boat traffic that's on the water. So it's going to be very busy, and that's going to play a big role on, you know, the overall weights of our tournament. I feel like that will factor into that. And then, you know, some of the areas and patterns that may come into play. You know, with that many boats on the water, finding something that's a little bit more sneaky, a little bit more off the wall that may not been as good as, say, a number 1 area that 10 boats are in. If you find a number 3 area that you have to yourself, it can actually outperform that number 1 area that has a bunch of company in it. So those are some factors that are going to play into this event. You know, as of now, the weather looks pretty good. It looks right on par, perfect fall weather, pretty stable, no major fronts or anything like that. So it looks pretty good on that end, and I'm excited to get down there. You guys know, if you follow the channel, I love fishing grass, and Guntersville is full of grass, and it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. There's going to be a lot of big fish caught. I'm going to be planning on throwing a frog, flipping, some top water, things like that, and just fish for fun. You know, this is like I said, this is kind of a year-end specialty event. I'm invested $500 into this, and I have a chance to win $500,000 for first place. I'm not even sure I touched on the total payout. I know I said there was $1 million total, but the payout is absolutely incredible. So $500,000 for first place. I think it's $130,000 for second place, and it kind of tiers all the way down to $25,000 for 10th place. And then all the way down to 50th place gets $5,000, all the way down to 100th place it gets $1,000. So as long as you finish in the top 100, you're going to get your $500 membership fee back. So, you know, the payout is pretty good. And like I said, there's $1 million up for grab for all the anglers this week. So really, really cool event. And I'm excited to get down there and, you know, see if we can't catch a bunch of big bass and finish this year off strong with a big payday. So appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Hopefully I answered a few of your questions and maybe kind of set the scene a little bit for this tournament. Like I said, I felt like it kind of flew under the radar a little bit. So wanted to bring this to you guys, let you guys know what's going on this week on Lake Guntersville. If you have any other questions, please drop them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer those for you. I do believe there is some fan interaction, so if you are around the Guntersville area, come out this weekend. I think there's an expo show and, you know, some other cool things going on, so you can come out and check it out and meet some of the pros. But appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Like I said, leave me those likes and comments down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.